how did you end up? I really like how you've branched out of just the sort of entrepreneur space. You know, you've had Coolio on the show. That was a fantastic interview. Jewel, that
Thank
was a
you.
fantastic interview. How did you? I guess Coolio is the one from like earlier on, where I'm
Yeah.
wondering like, how did you? Because I find that branching out to people in people in entertainment and show business, I don't really know how to reach them.
Well, I've actually very rarely had businessmen or entrepreneurs on my podcast. I mean, I had Steve Case, just like you,
Mhm.
um, but I haven't really had. I would say maybe 10% of my podcast has been business oriented. I'm really much more interested in peak performance. So someone who reached the pinnacle of their career or writes about how to achieve peak performance.
Okay,
Um,
how did you get in touch with Coolio?
Gosh, to be honest with that one, I can't remember how I got in touch
He
with
just
him.
like has I don't think he just has like a website with an email address on there that you can just.
There, he might. I mean, he had a cookbook that he was trying to promote. You know, Coolio's a cook
Okay.
in addition to being a rapper. Um, Let me
This is
see.
definitely something I try to do is I try to look out for like when Steve Case or when Robbie told me to have Steve Case on the show, it was because Steve Case had a a new book coming out and the timing would be perfect, right? So I've learned since then to look out for when people have uh, something going on, and that's the perfect time then to ask them. So that might have been the case with Coolio.
Actually, here's what I just did. I was just searching Coolio through my Gmail,
Hmm.
and I saw that I had mentioned that I had Coolio on my podcast to Ernest Klein. Do you know who he is?
I don't.
He wrote the book Ready Player One, which is a science. It's one of the top science fiction novels out there, and it's going to be made into a movie. And I wrote to him in August of 2015, and I wrote, please come on my podcast. And I see that Coolio is mentioned in this email because that's how I saw this email, and I just re-forwarded it to him. So I just asked Ernest Klein on again while searching for Coolio while talking to you. But let me see where I asked Coolio. But this is what I mean about doing something like that. That cost me 2 seconds of time in
So
the
you're
middle
just
of your.
following up
Yeah,
on the email.
I re-forwarded it. I did the re-forward.
I mean, you didn't
Uh,
say anything. They don't take that as they don't take offense to that type of follow
no,
up.
no, I wrote please with an exclamation point.
Oh, okay.
I used to have volunteers who were kind of like volunteer producers for my podcast, who would who they would actually find out how to get a hold of somebody, and they reached out to Coolio's publicists and publishers and managers and agents, and somehow this one guy found his way to
Wow.
Coolio and booked it for me.
And how did you get Jewel?
Well, now my podcast has a big enough audience that Jules Publishing Company, for her memoir, they reached out to me.
Oh, that's great.
And in fact, another real high profile name that I'm excited about just reached out today. Her publishing company reached out today, and I'm excited about this one. And she'll be coming on in the next week.
Oh, that's awesome.